Africa, the time is now to turn this country upside down. Show the world we can take flight. Show them all our causes like this African song we all can sing. People must know that
African name.
people must fight that
African style.
people must know that
Africa's great.
for a new Africa I can see communication organized, demonstrations organized. Get it, get it.
I'm here with Maya Garcia, the associate choreographer of Fela, the musical that's been showing on Broadway. And Maya, could you please tell us what gave impetus to this musical, this wonder that's been playing now on Broadway? I understand Bill T. Jones is the director and choreographer and who's gone on to another project, but how did it come about?
Our primary intention was to find out what Fela's story can become as a narrative, and also keep the sense of a concert. So the idea for the show is, this is Fela in concert. The year is 1977.
Right.
The independent Republic of Calacuta has just been stormed.
Right.
The people on stage are mad. They have been through it.
Mad as hell.
Mad as hell. Mad as hell. They have been through it. And
They can't take it anymore.
exactly, and they're leaving Nigeria.
Right.
So Fela basically comes up against a crossroads, which is that he wants to leave Nigeria. He has the opportunity to become a famous musician,
Right.
you know, to be known all over the world, to get his records sold all over the world.
Right.
And his mother's spirit
Right.
comes tapping him on the shoulder
Okay.
by singing him his own songs.
Wow.
She comes in and sings Trouble Sleep. And the way our story is told in the show is that Fela
That is his mother,
has the
Fumilayo
decision.
Kuti.
His mother, Fumilayo Anikolapo Kuti,
Right.
has the strength and insistence
Right.
that Fela's legacy is to stay and fight.
Okay.
And so Fela has to make a decision whether he will leave, and basically, you know, I think his life in many ways could have been, he could have been a real international superstar, but he did choose the path of the great Nigerian warrior, and a warrior for black empowerment for all people of Africa. And also that movement has become something that people all over the world have caught on to. So I do think that what we talk about in our show is sort of what we imagine might have been at the center of his struggle.
Well, that's why I guess it took 6 years for Bill
Yes.
T. Jones and Mr. Lewis to write it, to prepare
Absolutely.
the...
Absolutely, and we had a lot of resources. Carlos Moore's book, This Bitch of a Life, is an incredible resource. And as well as Michael Veal, and many other writers, musicologists, musicians, people who knew Fela, his friends, his family. Everyone has been a support and a great resource to us. So we feel extremely blessed.
How do you think it's going to be received? It may be a little bit tricky because Nigerians seeing American actors dancing as Fela's queens,
Yes.
I might say.
Well, I think that's absolutely a conversation we need to have. You know, that's the kind of dialogue that will spark, collaborations in the future. But the fact of the matter is, we were inspired, we made the work, we worked hard for 5 years to create this piece that has brought a recognition and awareness of Fela's life and what Fela has done for African people and people all over the world, and what he has done for music. You know, for his music, it gets in people's bodies, it gets in people's bones, and it shakes up our consciousness. So what Fela is doing has had effect. It's had this ripple effect of waves, and now that shock, you know, it hit us in New York. Yeah, so now we made something and we're coming back. So the wave is actually returning. So I think it's
It transmits beyond Nigeria's boundaries.
absolutely, and so culturally, we humble ourselves to say this is our offering. We're bringing you out, like I said, our painting of Fela. This is our picture that we've made with all the richness and all the colors that we could come with to tell Fela's story, because we think it should be told. And so in that way, we have something in common with the people of Nigeria. I think the people of Nigeria, and especially Fela people at the shrine, they want people to know what happened. So we've been able to bring that story to a part of the world, and now we're going to bring it, not only New York and London. Now we're going to go to Nigeria. We're going to go on tour internationally, and we're going to bring Fela's story to people all over the world. So I would say, bring on the dialogue. Bring it on, because we will learn more, and we will be able to incorporate people's thoughts and ideas into our work in the future. So,
what do you think the power and the mystique is of Afrobeat, which is this type of music that you and your dad have just put out there?
The base of Afrobeat was not on selfish terms. My father created it to fight for the oppressed, fight for freedom, against injustice, for social development. So the foundation of Afrobeat wasn't a selfish purpose, but a purpose fighting for freedom. So I think that is what is catching on, especially on the younger generation.
I'm Brazilian, and I am in the religion, like I'm an Afro-Brazilian religion that came from Nigeria. So I know about Fela for a long, long time. I think since I was a kid.
Really?
And then I saw him here in New York when I was a teenager. And I saw Sean, his son.
Sean Kuti?
Sean Kuti. I saw him last year in Rio, and it was unbelievable.
Oh my God.
And the guys,
Afrobeat is in Rio?